two, and a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good evening and welcome to the Coronavirus Crisis Radio. It is Friday, the 1st of May, and we're really glad to have you here on the lockdown lookout. And if you look out in Austria, you may notice people, because they're no longer under the lockdown that was never called a lockdown, so actually wasn't a lockdown. You're now allowed to go outside. You can gather in groups of up to 10 people. And how did the rest of the world react to this great piece of news from Austria? No one cared. No one even noticed. And that's probably because Austria is such a small, tiny country within Europe, within the geopolitical landscape, that not many people know where Austria is. They still confuse it with Australia. However, that doesn't mean that this isn't an important piece of good news and can provide a lot of hope for the rest of us in the world. It is a really amazing story, and that's what I want to share with you today. Stories and how conflicts can drive a story forward. Where do these stories come from? How do we create stories? And before we begin, I just want to share with you a piece of poetry that I improvised a few months back. You can't have a story without any drama. You need to have a character who he has a lot of karma. So he comes up against something, maybe a boulder or something where he has to look over his shoulder, and here's what's gonna happen. He's not gonna start rapping, but instead he needs to do something so that he's not dead. You see, when you have conflict, it drives through a story. And that conflict, it doesn't have to be something gory. It just has to be man versus something. Or woman versus something. Or maybe the man and the woman, well, maybe they're up against nothing. But the conflict is going on inside of their head. And they're pacing and they're pacing. And their faces turn red. Do you see what happens here? We're up to the climax, and then we bring it down when they have to face facts. You see, whenever you're speaking, you can add conflict to a story, and when you add conflict and drama to a story, your audience will not only get more engaged, but on stage, you're going to be acting differently. You're going to be a lot more vivid and expressive. So next time you give a speech, think about having a story. We all love to hear a good story, and whether we admit it or not, we love conflict and drama. Why? Because conflict and drama drives a narrative forward. It provides development of a story, and this could be a positive thing. Today is International Workers' Day, also known as May Day or Labour Day in some countries. And the conflicts and the fighting that happened over 100 years ago at the Haymarket Affair, that led to a lot of positive changes. There's a lot of times when conflict and drama has led to positive change, whether that is conflicts of good guy versus bad guy. But sometimes this drama, it can encapsulate us, and we want to create this drama. We want to make ourselves feel right because it feels right. So we fight. What for? Really, what is this drama for? Of course, there are times when conflict is necessary. Yes, it's important to stand your ground, to stand up for yourself and for what you believe in. Other times it's just drama for the sake of drama. So what you can do is to pay attention to the stories that you say in your head and the stories that you say to other people. Are these stories worth it? Sometimes they will be. Other times it will just be a continuation of drama and conflict that you may not need in your life. You can decide what stories are necessary and which ones are unnecessary. And when we pay attention to all of these stories, we can ask ourselves, is this adding conflict and drama into my life? Strife that I can do without? Or is this story meaningful? Is it a story that can provide hope, reassurance, and help to someone? That's all from today at the Coronavirus Crisis Radio. Wherever you are in the world, locked down, locked in, or able to go out, we hope that you will have a fantastic evening, a winning weekend. Get your daily dose of vitamin D and stay positively positive.